Good evening. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the City of Gloucester's Licensing Board. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, and the time is 6:30 p.m. We are meeting here in person at the Gloucester Harbor Master's office located on Harbor Loop in Gloucester. Effective August 16th, 2023, the public is welcome to attend our meetings in person. Alternatively, the public may attend through the Zoom link listed on the agenda. The meeting notice will reflect if this meeting is Zoom only. As the recent amendments to the open meeting law allows, the licensing board may continue to hold meetings remotely. Please note that the in-person meeting will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the remote connection. We will start off with introductions and we'll start off with Ted.
Ted Costa, member to the board.
Melissa Prince, member to the board.
John Lemmer, member to the board.
Natasha Dale Clark.
Rob Bakari, building commissioner.
Oh, Suzanne Egan, General Counsel.
Thank you very much. Our first item on the agenda is we have a few special one-day liquor licenses, all at the request of the same person, Buckhannon Castle. Do you want to state your name and address, please?
Linda Harvey, Hammond Castle Museum, 80 Hesperus Avenue.
Thank you, Linda, for joining us tonight. So it seems like you're going to have a couple concerts coming up. Do you want to tell us the overview of all of them? We don't have to really get into individual because we hear many of your requests.
Sure. Well, we have the Firebirds Pops coming up. That's going to be here for our holiday celebration, Deck the Halls. They're doing 3 concerts, and we have Chelsea Berry that's coming in, and Chelsea's going to be doing 2 concerts for us, 2 different nights. Is the Goblin King Ball on that list of?
Yes.
Yeah, the Goblin King Ball is a costume party, and it's an evening of fun, costumes, dancing, and music, which is we've done before. This is our 3rd year to do this event. It sold out in 9 minutes this past year.
That's quick.
Wow.
Things are getting really good over there. People are really starting to fill up. It's great.
That's wonderful.
Are all these indoor events or outdoor?
They're all indoor events.
Okay. Using the same processes you've used in the past with purchasing alcohol and
Yes,
locking it up and
absolutely.
it's invite only
Yes, it is invite only.
and doors are monitored for people not being able to walk out with alcohol.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we have a security guard on duty in our parking lot as well.
Yeah.
So everything is, we blocked a very tight bar.
Yeah. Ted, do you have any questions?
Just a couple. So the all of your events except for the Goblin King Balls end at 10. The other
Yes.
one goes to 11.
That's correct.
Why are we going longer for that one? Last year we had some people that were I think trying to trick or treat early in some of the neighbors yet. So I don't know if we're going to be able to curtail that this year or not if we go later, but
We will have enough security around that we can't curtail anyone who doesn't belong at the facility for the event.
and then you had just mentioned that Chelsea Berry is going to do 2, but you only got 1 listed. Only
We're
one.
only going to serve alcohol at one.
Okay, just didn't know if we needed to add another date for you.
That'd be fine.
No other questions?
So indoors, you don't need any rain date.
No,
And you will have security in the parking lot afterwards to make sure everybody leaves
and in the building as well.
in the building here.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. Ted, do you want to make a motion? We can do all of them in one
You
motion.
want to check and see if John-
Oh, I'm sorry, John, I forgot all about you. I apologize.
No, I have no questions, Madam Chair. They had their tips in there and they had their liquor liability, so we're good. Paperwork was good.
Thank you. Does someone want a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the special one-day liquor licenses request. Petition by Grace Numerosi requesting to serve all alcohol beverages following dates of the upcoming events at Hammond Castle Museum on 80 Hesperus Avenue. They being the Goblin King Ball on 10/24, the hours from 6 to 11, Chelsea Berry Christmas Concert 12/6, with a 6 to 10 p.m. Firebird Pops Concert 12/19, 7:30 to 10, and Firebird Pops Concert 12/20 from 5 to 10, and I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of the events?
No, ma'am.
Did you John's on Zoom.
Mr. Costa,
Yes.
Mr. Lambrand,
Yes.
Ms. Prince.
Yes. Okay, any questions for us?
Not at all. Thank
Enjoy.
you very
Thank you.
much. We
Good luck.
appreciate it very much. And come here some of that wonderful music. Thank
Okay, next order of business is discussion by the board. The first topic is Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 12D, discussion and possible vote and recommendation to the city council. Ms. Suzanne Egan here, legal counsel.
Yes, thank you. So I can explain, I think you all have a copy of the ABCC guidance on this new law. So the law was passed this year, allowing holders of a beer and wine license to trade in their license to the local licensing authority, ABCC, to convert it to an all liquor license. They have to go through they have to go through a process. There's got to be a public hearing and a review of that. It's got to be accepted by the local board and also the ABCC. The other aspect of the trade-in process is that it's non-transferable. So once that license is traded in for a all liquor license, it can't be transferred if they sell their business or if they attempt to sell it. The ABCC has on its website right now that application process that people have to go through. It's a form that they fill out in order to apply to trade in the license. So I'm happy to answer any other questions. I know at this point that Boston has accepted the law. And I saw tonight that they're holding a public hearing. Their licensing board is holding a public hearing to consider what rules and regulations that they want to adopt to establish that local process for people to trade in their license.
So I was gonna ask you, thank you for that, first of all. So the city council is the one that adopts it.
Yes, it's a statute, it's a state statute, and the city council has to accept the statute in order for it to be in effect in the city of Gloucester.
So I'm just trying to define the roles here. So
the licensing, this board can consider the issue as to whether or not it wants to recommend to the city council to accept the statute. I would suggest that you would take a vote and you would refer that to the mayor and ask the mayor to include that in their mayor's report, and that would go up to the city council for their consideration. And it doesn't require a public hearing, the acceptance of a state law, but there's discussion, obviously, and you'd have that ability to go and discuss it. I think that it would be referred to the Ordinance and Administration Subcommittee, and then it would be referred back to City Council.
So the licensing board is the one that develops the regulations and the procedures and any fees. If we were gonna recommend this, and then we take that package and recommend it to the mayor to forward to the city council, is that what I'm hearing?
No, well, I think the best
Trying to figure out who
Yes,
does what,
the
right?
best process is to first determine whether or not you want to recommend that the city accept the statute. And then you submit that to the mayor. And then once the city council takes a vote on it, then it would go back to you. You'd have jurisdiction over it. And then you would adopt rules and regulations regarding it, because it's still going to be within your authority. It doesn't take authority away from the board.
Right.
It just almost gives you more authority to allow for that trade-in process.
So if we were to recommend it to go to city council, it goes to O&A, they just discuss the topic of it being a law and whether or not they don't have to do a public hearing or learn more about it, or
Well,
I'm just trying to think of how this is gonna work, because I had mentioned it to City Council President Tony Groves a while ago, knowing that it might be headed his way.
Mhm.
And clearly, they don't pay attention to all the licensing board
Mhm.
regulations, so I didn't know how to explain what his role would be versus ours and when, like.
So the city council does have experience accepting state statutes, so if you referred it, I would suggest that you would also include in your vote and your referral to the mayor, your request to the mayor, the ABCC guidance on this. And then just a brief memo stating what it is.
Would
And
it also make sense for us to include our recently adopted rules and regulations? See if there was any, at surface, I don't think there's any overlap or any concerns, but I imagine that's why Boston's having a public hearing to see if the rules that they have in place would be, different in any way.
You could do that to city council, but I think, I don't think it would necessarily, you adopt your own rules and regulations, city council doesn't get involved in that process, so it may confuse the issue. And if you provide too much information, if it's not relevant to city council, then they may think it is. And so because you do have that, you know, you gotta hold a public when somebody wants to trade their license in and convert it, you have to hold a public hearing, you can set fees, and so that would be part of the process that you would establish in rules and regulations.
So to put this in perspective, we have 3 licenses out there right now, and 2 of them are owned by the same person, and one isn't, one restaurant isn't even open yet.
Okay.
Have the beer and wine, so we're not talking about a large number. We have Salted Cod, the Salute Day that's not open yet, they're both beer and wine. And then Maria's Pizza
And
I
the
believe.
bowling alley.
and the bowling alley, so we have 4.
Mhm.
And we have 2 available. Beer and
2
wine
beer and wine
license,
license
yeah.
available. Mhm.
So, just to put that in perspective, we're not talking about a lot, but I understand that there could be some concern from business owners that have year-round licenses, not wanting something like this to happen. So it's my understanding that's why we could do a public hearing just to get feedback to see if there's any opposition to it. Does that make sense? Or am I over exaggerating?
You would do a public hearing on the individual application.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what you're doing your public
Okay.
hearing on. You're
So
not doing
it's
your public
Not
hearing
public
on
hearing to
accepting.
recommend this, okay.
No,
That
I'm sorry,
simplifies it.
sorry,
Okay.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
public hearing when somebody fills out the
Yeah,
application to
application.
trade in, then you have to do that whole public hearing process, it's just, you know, you go through that same criteria.
So we decide whether we want to recommend to the mayor, give it to that goes, if we decide yes.
Mhm.
They come back whether they're gonna adopt or not. They don't have to do a lot of work on it,
No,
just whether or not they want
right,
to accept our recommendation to approve it.
right, and they
And
would.
it comes
do-
back
right.
here and then applications can come in.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
And then if you were going to adopt new rules and regulations.
Yeah.
For the process, you would hold a public hearing on your rules and regulations that you're adopting for that process. Then amend your rules, and then you would allow, then the process is already in place.
Yeah.
For those applications, that ABCC has the application process, so then they would go through.
Yeah, it's a change of category, which we've done before. John, before I ask more questions, do you want to ask anything? Because I could ask questions all night.
Yeah, I think the only question I have is, let's just say that one of those businesses closed down. I know they don't get the annual, but do they get their wine and malt license back?
No,
No, so
it's not. They
okay.
would have to.
So folks that bought a wine and malt license that was available will not be able to use that license again.
Right, it's essentially a business decision for people to make.
Yep. No, I'm just curious.
So in other words, they make a decision whether to change the type of license to all alcohol. Then they can use the all alcohol license as long as they're in business.
But then they can't revert it back if they go out of business.
Mhm.
They don't get it back. It does revert back to a beer and wine license, but it becomes available when their business ends. Right?
Right.
That's what I understood.
Yeah.
Right,
Not
right.
involved with
It doesn't revert, I guess it would never revert for that individual business because it would essentially expires, right? Once they stopped doing business.
Unless they did a change of category back. I wonder if is that something we can find out?
Yeah.
In other
Well,
words-
well, yes, we can find that out, but it's my understanding that it doesn't work that way. Once you trade in that
It
license,
stays that way.
you've traded it in,
Okay,
right? You don't get
Yeah.
to trade it back. It's not
okay.
trading back and forth. I think the statute's pretty clear. You
Okay.
trade this in and then it's non-transferable. It's not that then the statute then doesn't say, and you can trade it back or exchange it back for your beer and wine license.
Okay, I'd like to find out though if we can do, because it's a change of category, which is a common thing to do. But I've never seen anyone go back and change in the category. It's always been
Yeah,
to
it doesn't
expand.
say that you can do that in
Yeah.
the statute.
Okay.
Yeah.
My,
And in
sorry.
the, I guess, the other thing I would say is that in that guidance, it's pretty clear that
okay,
you can't.
okay,
Yeah,
I didn't
I
see
mean, I
that.
think it is, because it talks about what happens when you've stopped,
Okay.
right?
My other question, a couple questions, is, so if the beer and wine licensees that are out there apply for the change of category, and we choose not to allow that, what, is it the same grounds as Ballerin and? Okay, so Ballerin has, and there's a right to appeal to the ABCC if we don't allow it?
Yes, right, right, everybody has that due process, right?
Even in this type of license?
Mhm. There'd be no, right, there'd be no reason that there would be an exception to it. Like I think that in the law would have to say there's an exception, that there's no right to appeal, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And also, so if we have two available, that we have two beer and wine licenses available, is my understanding.
Mhm.
Year round. So essentially, that's like having two all alcohol licenses if this passes city council. Does this apply to if someone chose now, we have a seasonal person out there that has been looking for a year-round license, they know there's two beer and wine licenses left, they apply for one, they get it, and then they request the change,
Mhm.
they've essentially have it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think the big difference is the fact that it's not transferable,
Right,
right?
but it's not $150,000 either,
Right.
so. Okay. And. I have one question, sorry. Then, if we decide we do this, we recommend, and then when it comes back, we talk about how much the fees would be, any regulations would be, and then just see who applies.
Mhm. Yes,
And see if it, like,
and you'd have the regulations to how you're gonna hold a public hearing and
Yeah.
your application processes and all the rest of it. Yeah.
okay. John, any more questions?
No,
Can you
Madam
hear
Chair.
us?
I can hear you. Yep. No questions.
Do we know if there's any certain language out for a vote to go to the mayor? Any recommended language, or is it just,
It would just
what
be-
they consider,
Or it's a motion to, it would be a recommendation that the city council accept chapter 138, section 12D.
okay,
And then it would be the full, you would want to put before the council the full language.
Did I ask
You
one?
good?
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was
very well.
I started to, but I'll have to go through it.
Okay.
Suzanne, in the last paragraph of the information that was put out by the ABCC, it reads, and it's somewhat short. A Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 12, on-premise license for wines and malt beverages traded for a Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 12, on-premise all alcohol beverage license pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 138, 12D. Does not increase the total number of licenses authorized pursuant to Mass General Law 138, Section 17, or any other general or special law.
Because they revert back.
And so you're asking, what, because that's saying it doesn't increase the quota. Right.
Well, it would increase the quota, I guess, right?
But it doesn't because it's not a permanent license, so so I think that the way that they're looking at it is saying that it would increase the quota if that license lived, was independent and was a live license. It's not necessarily, it's only,
So
with
because
regard
it
to that.
turns into a pumpkin at a later date. it doesn't
Exactly.
apply.
It's temporary. We have to put on it.
Okay. Thanks.
So
Yeah.
technically, we have more liquor license, year-round all alcohol licenses, because we have 5 in total, I believe, for the city of Gloucester. So technically 5 more all alcohol like opportunities are there,
So to,
Six.
but they don't, 6.
so to help you understand it more, so like. Here's my quota. like, What the ABCC actually gives me.
Yes,
So there's sorry, John, all alcoholic beverages, wine, malt and cordials, and then they added this new section. That's what's going to keep them.
Oh, zero.
It's wine
Yeah.
and malt to all alcoholic
Yeah,
beverages.
so they can track
So
it.
that's how they're gonna track it, and it will take from the wine malt category.
So we have 3 available.
Two.
Two available with four used
Oh,
right now.
going to 2 available, yeah. Okay,
So the public hearing, a public comment, should a restaurant that has one now to feel like we've undermined their asset in a sense by way of the license would be held at the city.
City council doesn't have to hold a public hearing. So it would be at the city council meeting.
Okay,
And that, and also with the ordinance and administration, I believe that's where it would go. And so a lot of times the chair allow people to speak on that issue, even though it wouldn't be holding a public hearing.
understood. Okay,
would you be there to guide them?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay,
We do this right. 10 minutes at the same time for that other lovely thing for the zoning.
And also you, you could attend also.
yeah, I
The
would.
Members of the.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right, so I guess, thank you. Always helpful. The question is, are we ready? Is this something we want to discuss tonight and make a recommendation, or do we want to put it over to our next meeting? And give it some thought and look into things and,
fine with making a motion to send it to them to look at.
so
Or
that
adopt.
it would be that we recommend that they adopt. So you feel confident that that's your position? John, how do you feel?
I think we should put in front of the city council for approval.
Okay. All right. So the motion is a recommendation to the mayor to adopt the language.
So motion is to the recommendation to city council
Okay.
to accept chapter 138, section 12D.
Oh, that's easy. So moves.
Second,
Motion is to recommend to the city council to adopt the regulations of 138-12D.
Yeah.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? Again, thank you, Suzanne. I do think that this is part of a bigger conversation to have with them. Instead of just dropping this in their lap and they're gonna be like, what is this? So I guess I should probably follow up. I've never recommended to the mayor before. I've recommended directly to the city council for the BYOB
Oh, okay.
that we did before. It was right before you came back. We were working with Chip Hazen. So I don't,
So I'm
can
absolutely,
you help us?
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that?
happy
I
to
just
help.
wanna make sure it's
Yes.
put before them in
Yeah.
the right way.
yes,
I
and I
don't
can
know.
help draft the memo
Okay.
and provide that language to
Okay.
that, yeah, I can do that draft, send it to you all, you can
Okay.
say, okay, we can submit this to the mayor.
Okay,
And then the mayor will, correct.
Put
It's
it
better to do it this way through the mayor's report, because then the process is there and you're following the
Yep.
correct process.
okay.
But I'm happy to do that, and I'll include the ABC guidance and the statute, and also that application that the ABCC has now, because I think that's helpful.
Yep.
Because it sort of shows you, like, it sort of gives you something tangible to say, okay, I understand what's going on
Okay.
here. Okay,
Did you have a question?
I was gonna say, I just signed up for the public hearing on the 21st at the city of Boston's having, it's like 2 to 4 in the afternoon,
Okay.
so we can
See what it's like,
anticipate what we might have for
questions?
questions.
and I think that public hearings on their rules and regulations.
Yes.
Right,
For the new license.
for the 12,
Yeah.
For the
to
temporary one.
implement 12D.
Okay. Roll call vote. Are we
Mr.
done with discussion? John, did you have any more discussion?
no, ma'am.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Mr. Costa,
Yes,
Mr. Lammery,
Yes,
Ms. Prince.
Yes. Okay, so,
Would you second that one?
Ted did.
I thought Ted did.
I seconded.
So we'll look for an email from you. We really
Yes.
appreciate you doing this.
Yes, I'll send you an email with a draft memo
Yep.
for you,
Okay.
and then you can just review it and then
Set
do
it
it.
up.
And the mayor's report is due on the Wednesday before the submissions to the mayor's report is due on the Wednesday before the city council meeting. So we'll just
So we
work
have
it
another
out.
week,
Yeah, we have another week.
because they're meeting tonight,
They're meeting tonight, so it'll be
next Wednesday,
Next Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
and you can work in that timeline?
I think so, yeah,
Okay.
because I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, great, thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Call if you need any help.
All right.
Okay.
Suzanne.
Thank you.
That would be.
Yep.
Let's see. One looking at the bottom. Next order of business is update on BROI LLC, DBA Ocean House Hotel, 107 Atlantic Road. Hi.
I'm Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Again. Oh, thank you.
Have a seat.
State your full name and address, please.
My name is Carrie Quinlivan and my home address is 50 Jewett Street, JEWETT in Providence. Rhode
Okay, so what we did is we're calling in the licenses that seem to be inactive right now.
Yes.
So you've had this license for a year.
Mhm.
Can you tell us what's going on?
Sure. We want to use our licenses here and want to try to open our program before we close. We were trying to build a bar, and have something constructed for us, and our timeline did not work out. And then we were in the middle of the operating season. I know you guys know as Gloucester residents how busy we were. We really couldn't implement anything new. So we pivoted. We have our setup that I have inspected. And we'd like to, before we close, activate our license and start using our license this season so we can get a feel and understand how it's going to work and then be open fully for next season,
So when do you close?
December 1st.
So it's a seasonal and you'll be applying in March to get your license again.
Yes, we open in mid-April.
So this is my concern. Do you have a copy of our licensing board rules and regulations?
I don't have a
We
copy
adopted?
on me. I was reading them today on the website, but I don't have a copy on me.
So in this, we've discussed the issue of licenses not being used and being out there and when they expire. And when the licensing board has the right to go in and determine that there's been a cessation of operations. And potentially not renew a license going forward that has never been used. So that is the concern that I know I have, and I'm sure my colleagues share that concern. So I guess I would want to hear some sort of commitment that you've met with the building inspector. You have a construction person hired and ready to go. In other words, there is nothing to prevent you from getting this done over the next month or two.
No, I could get it done tomorrow. Rob came by and inspected. I think that we have a temporary solution until our permanent furniture is in. And if you guys are okay with that, we would be ready to go whenever we have our license.
So they have storage, not a problem. I've got cabinets, lockable cabinets that are locked in the kitchen area for all the alcohol. The issue is realistically the bar is a table right now for the bars. There's no seating at the bar. There is seating elsewhere. There's no seating at the bar. The bar is literally a table with tabletop.
But our plan didn't have seating at the bar.
No, it never did anyway. They have a whole row side of seating. They have a billiard room and stuff that they have a pool table set up in with some stools and stuff in
What's
there.
the capacity again over there?
It is 60 for capacity. It's like, I think 42 for sitting.
Okay.
So we have every intention. It's just not the perfect piece of furniture we wanted, but we're set up completely to the floor plan
Okay.
submitted on our.
When will you have the permanent furniture?
When we reopen in the spring is our plan, when we open in the spring. And so I would like to operate with what we have now, which matches the floor plan, like we said, to use our license to get a feel for it, and then we can commit to our program. It wouldn't change the floor plan or anything we're doing, but just for us operationally to
Okay.
figure out how this is going to, it'll give us a better feel for next season, which
Okay.
is our goal, to operate it all year next season.
So there'd be absolutely no excuses why you couldn't be open next season. Furniture, we won't be back to.
No, if whatever permanent, we will have a solution by the springtime. There's no option for us not to, so we will be using.
And when do you open?
We usually open the middle of April, right for the
April.
April school vacation week.
Okay.
So we have some time, we'll pivot and get a different piece of furniture, but we will build it to the floor plan and to everything that's required.
Okay,
I would recommend that you submit that with your license renewal. So we have copies of what that permanent fixture looks like.
Of course, absolutely, I can do that.
so renewal usually happens in February? The seasonal?
March.
Yeah.
March.
February, March.
February, March.
So is it your intention to have it done by March?
Absolutely, I can do that.
So-
If that is, we will do anything that is a requirement, anything that makes it safe and pleasant and able to operate in March, fine. We can
So
do it
I would
on-
say the temporary table can't be in place when you reopen,
Absolutely.
right?
understood.
So if, when you submit your, renewal for
Yeah.
the license, the permanent structure should be in place.
Permanent. I can, absolutely.
And if there's something that causes that not to happen,
Mhm.
reach out to us
Mhm.
and let us know
Absolutely.
beforehand
Of course.
instead of afterwards.
Will do. Absolutely.
Would be my suggestion. John, okay, any other?
That seems reasonable.
That seems reasonable. As long as we have photos at with the application, I'd be fine with that.
And Rob will have to inspect it as well.
So they-
For the renewal.
So,
Yes,
So it should be part of the inspection of the renewal that it's completed. And furniture, new furniture will be in.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, will do.
Thank you very much for taking the time to come down.
Thank you,
I appreciate
absolutely,
it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
You
thank
too.
you.
Next order of business is update on Fish Tail, 50 Rogers Street. Do we have anybody online?
There's one person that says iPhone 2, but I don't know who that person is.
If you are here for Fish Tales and you're online, can you please raise your hand or press *9 to talk?
No.
Okay. Next order of business is update on 50 Fred Rogers Realty Trust Lodging House, 50 Rogers Street. If anybody is here, please raise your hand or press *9.
So I talked to Bob from City Realty this morning. He was stating that he did not get either of the letters that I sent out or the Zoom info that I also had sent out. And just received the certified letter in the mail today and did not have enough time and something about a surgery. And he's not back to work until October 29th. So he was going to need more time.
Okay. Can I ask, are they operating a lodging? Are there people living there?
There are people living there that do not have a valid lodging license because they have not received APINS and which is a periodic inspection from my department in the last 2 years.
And I did actually tell him that, he assumed, from what I understand, is that he was okay from the health department, so that was the only thing that he really needed to do. Because he kept just saying the health inspector's name. And then I looked online and I was like, well, you've had no building inspections done, so. We give our lodging license out based on your building inspection, so you have no valid lodging license or no valid annual safety inspection.
Okay, so how many people living in the building? How many rooms are being rented? I know there's single bedrooms, right?
The single
bedrooms.
bedrooms, and I wanna say it's 15, but I could be mistaken.
I can pull it up.
So what
Chick-fil-A.
authority do you have as the building?
So I can
Person.
technically cite them in violation and with the police department can have them all. Removed from the property at the owner's expense. The owner will be paying for them to stay at whatever hotel is available till he gets this straightened out.
Is that similar to what was done with the cleanup issue they had
Yeah,
last year?
Say the first part again.
so with the police department, I would go in, we have to notify them that because you have not. Gone through with all this, that they will be required to house all these people somewhere else
Do you have a
and
notice
shut it down.
that you give to them before you do take that action?
Yeah, I have to send them a notice first. I can get that out first thing tomorrow. And we send ours out, regular mail, certified mail. I can, if we have to, I can pay for a constable and have it handled. Usually certified mail usually works because you have to sign for it.
Right, but you can also refuse it.
So the problem that I think I was having when I talked to Bob is that I asked which address. Like I gave him the address that I have on
What address is on the
application.
lodge? lodging license
500 Alston Street
in Boston.
in Boston. And I said, is this not an address that I should be able to get to? Because you're filling out this application stating that this is an address and this is this email address that I can get a hold of you. And he said, no, that's not a good address. And I said, well, maybe you need to update the application and give me a real address.
Do we have a phone number? Bob?
He does, I have his phone number because I did talk to him today, this morning.
I'm gonna make a suggestion that we hand this over. That you draft your notice for tomorrow,
Yep.
but also call him and tell him you're drafting the
I
notice.
will.
And then it is being mailed to the address that's on file, because that is why we asked for the address on the lodging
He
license.
wants to give me a different address when I call him on the phone. I will
So
accept
I
that.
have
I
his,
would accept it and do both,
Both,
because
absolutely.
he technically has to change the address with
Mhm.
us, and then he's not gonna do it over the phone.
I
talking to
have
you.
his home address.
Yeah, we have to do the
But-
addresses on the lodging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
but-
what I did say to him. I said, unfortunately, I don't really know what I can do for you because that's not the address I have for you.
Mhm.
But he was wondering if, I guess this doesn't really matter at this.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I would withhold from saying anymore.
Okay.
Mhm.
The fact that they didn't appear tonight, we did give them notice. It's been 2 years.
Right.
This is not a new issue. It's a lodging system that lodges people that really need a home, so I don't wanna just jump into throwing people out. I know they have to house them somewhere, but that's not always an easy thing to do, with the tenants. So I'd like to at least give him some sort of short notice. That he has to come into compliance and be in person here at the next meeting and be ready to be in compliance. Are they close to being in compliance over there?
All they gotta do is apply for new pens. We'll go in and we'll find out. I
Okay.
have no idea.
Okay.
What exactly, so when they were here before us, I voted no,
Right.
to have them stay open or get the license. At that point, when they renewed last year, had they had a safety inspection, or when is the last safety inspection?
2 years.
Doesn't the state law read that they're not allowed to have a lodging house in there if they haven't met those 3 inspections?
Yep.
I would say you should expedite whatever you can do to have those people notified and put up elsewhere. It'd be a real tough time sleeping at night if
Yeah.
something happened there.
What is your notice, like, what do you give for a time frame? What is the
So
normal?
that's normally is for something like
10
this.
days?
Yeah, it's gonna be like 10 days to
Okay.
max.
Okay.
I mean, we're not going far.
So it seems to me by us allowing you to use the authority that you have, this would be resolved in some capacity by the next meeting, because 10 days is gonna come and go before we meet again.
Mhm.
So either one, they're gonna come in compliance, or 2, the tenants will be out of there.
And we'll just revoke the license and it'll be done. So, yeah. Not a
So
problem.
I'm looking now. On Viewpoint, I don't see any pin inspections
Okay.
ever.
We can deal with that offline.
Mhm.
Well, is it
So,
out of the realm
John-
of possibility for us to take a vote to revoke their license based on the fact that these mandatory state inspections by the building department and the fire department?
So I would argue that not enough notice was given to them to actually know that we were talking about revoking their license tonight. We were asking for an update. We didn't give them notice of the potential of revocation, even though the law speaks for itself.
Mhm.
But I would say under due process that we should at least give him some sort of notice, which is why I'm asking you to do notice tomorrow. Regular mail, certified mail,
Mhm.
constable if you have to. I
Right.
mean, we do this at my work and they
Right.
don't always pick up
No, they don't.
certified mail.
Nope. You get
Um,
that notice and you're like, I'm not going.
so that's why I'm asking you to
But-
call him
right.
as well, because you're giving him telephone notice.
Mhm.
And just keep notes if you're getting a answer machine.
Mhm.
Is there more than one owner on the building? Cause I thought it was a corporation, there's 2 or
That's what
3
I thought it
owners.
was too.
I only have the guy who manages it, or it.
I think it's a
is in charge
corporation,
of
it's
it.
like
It
2 or 3
is,
real
it's
estate.
city.
I can
realty.
also find out who the trustee, we have people in our building that can circle through to find out who the trustees are on this corporation, or who's on the board of this corporation. 'Cause it's all recorded, you have to record who's on your board of any these corporations, so I have someone that's very good in the community development department that knows how to maneuver through that lovely website to be able to get people's names.
So I would also want you to have the ability, if you felt it appropriate, to use a constable, if you can
Okay.
find him and wherever address we have. But you determine whether that step is necessary. I'm just thinking of the expense of it, not
I'm
that,
not worried about it.
okay.
I'm not a lawyer,
What time
but a license in their hand shows that they are compliant with the law.
Mhm.
And if they're not compliant with the law, then the license in their hand should be in.
You shouldn't have given them the license.
We haven't,
Yeah,
we've never,
They don't-
they don't have
a
a valid, they don't have a valid posted license.
Okay,
so I would say under the authority of the police and your department,
We'll get right on it.
do what you have to do, and we'll put it on the agenda for our next meeting. Invite the owner to be here for an explanation, and hopefully it will be resolved before the next meeting.
Just out of curiosity, because even though he's a license on a management to do with the other establishment that's in the building. Like still technically it's their license, is it not?
It's whose license? What do you mean? What license are we talking? I'm talking about the lodging license only
Okay,
right now.
okay, cause you know what I'm saying, that
No, I
the
do.
same address, same building.
Right, but
Same
that's a
owners.
different, that's a
Okay.
different license, that's a completely different conversation. So the lodging license is what I'm worried about. You have
Okay.
people living in there illegally and all it's
And
gonna
it's not
take
their
is,
fault, and I feel bad for these people, cause it's not their fault. They didn't do
not their
anything
fault,
wrong.
but they're not safe either.
No.
So,
That building needs a ton of work that I cannot enforce. I can only enforce so much when it comes to life safety because of the age of that building, how long it's been sitting there and used the way it's used.
so does what authority is there through the fire department right now?
They're gonna be the same, they're gonna be the same way. There is a certain amount of life safety that we can mandate these people to and put into place. But there are things that really need to happen to the building. I can't enforce unless I physically do some serious work in the building, unfortunately. Building needs to be sprinkled, I can't enforce that.
Okay,
I'd
well,
like to, but can't.
so there's similar issues going on with the fishtails with the building.
Yeah.
That has building issues and that's tied up in a court right now.
Mhm.
So, I think you've heard us tonight. John, do you want to add anything?
No, Madam Chair.
I think you exercise the authority you have through your department, fire department, police department,
And we'll get this taken care of.
get it resolved, and if you say that you can have them house the tenants somewhere else, I mean, that's quicker than waiting till our next meeting.
what does the law state, just out of curiosity, and I don't know, it's a perfectly fine answer, if this board should revoke their license, or if they have no license?
We haven't given it to them to revoke it. They're operating without a license right now.
What vote did we take the last time when we had?
You know,
a
we-
renewal?
They needed, the last one, if I recall, stated they would issue you would grant them their license if they got the inspection they needed from me, and they've never done it. Like,
Yeah, people
we've never
don't
been
do
there back since.
So where does the law or the codes fall if basically they're an unlicensed rooming house now?
Mm-hmm.
So if they came to us to have a license, would it be a renewal? Or would it be a new license since they
Well,
don't
so
have
it's
one?
not like the alcohol licenses where you get a license and you own the license and.
I was just trying to find out. if
Yeah,
it-
right.
As far as I know, it would probably be some type of renewal or even a new license. I have no idea.
I think a new license would give you more leverage with regards to codes and upgrades.
Probably.
Either way, it's gonna be, they have to comply with everything.
They still, yeah, I mean, they're gonna comply because I got money first.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna pick this thing apart to make sure that this building is as safe as it possibly can be before I'm putting people back. in the building.
Which might trigger the other
Hopefully,
tenant, because they're waiting for similar action.
so.
Okay, so, I guess I'm gonna make a vote to authorize, what is your exact title of the building? Now, I
I'm the
always
building
like
commissioner.
Commissioner, I always wanna say inspector.
I know.
But I know there's more inspectors. That the licensing board, grant to the building or, recommend to the building commissioner to exercise his authority to the full extent of the law to address the issue of, tenants living in a lodging house that's not licensed at 50 Red Roger Realty Trust and 50 Roger Street.
Got a motion?
It's a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Roll call vote?
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Lammerin?
Yes.
Ms. Prince?
Yes. Okay.
Excellent.
Next order of business is update on Rimway Inc., DBA Rimway Treasures of Tide for Roger Street. I'm told they're open
They're
today.
open.
They are open. They passed all of our inspections.
Okay,
They passed everything for the Board of Health. The last seating chart when I was there, they had 40 seats. I did recommend to him that he may want to try to put some more seating in there.
do we give them the license?
No,
Nope.
So they can't have the license until this 50, because that was
So they have some spots where they should be able to, without changing any egress flows or blocking anything, they should be able to get hopefully 50. I don't know. At least that was my recommendations to the contractor to tell the owners. When I was there
So
for
are
my
they serving
inspection.
alcohol tonight?
No,
Okay.
no,
I looked at the menu, I didn't see anything.
no,
Yeah, but is it there, is the question?
no, because they wouldn't be able to buy it.
Oh, without license.
So the license can't buy it.
Okay.
So they bought it illegally and
So
that's it
there's
gets
a
you more.
condition on their license if they have to have
Yes.
50 seats, so we don't give them a license until this. 50 seats.
But what is the exact, how many days do they have to comply with that? Because you guys approved them for their liquor license on June 10th.
Yeah, knowing they were remodeling.
Okay,
I can go down.
Their website says that it's a soft opening on
Yeah.
Tuesday, the 14th.
Yeah. So I can
If
revisit.
you wanna stop by there, that would be
Yeah,
great.
and
If
check on
not,
the
we
seat.
have to think of another night. We're gonna go out
Yeah.
and do some inspections and all that. We can add them to the list there too.
Exceeding. Cause I know they meet the criteria for the bathroom, so
Yeah.
that's not an issue, like, it's just a matter of. Yeah, they get the tables to work with the seats,
Yeah,
but the place looks beautiful, brand new kitchen inside,
yeah.
they redid all the walks and that whole. Area and everything, but it looked like, a nice job,
Great. I can't wait to try it.
they look like.
Next order of business, the members will review and approve the 2026 meeting calendar. I know I saw it.
Mhm.
It's just the same dates. Every Tuesday,
well, the
first Tuesday of the month,
yes.
except for the holiday. Veterans Day, was it next year or something?
No,
No.
No, Veterans Day is this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
this year, yeah.
no holidays
Okay.
actually,
I move that we approve the 2026 meeting calendar, only we can change it.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
No.
Mr. Costa,
Yes.
Mr. Lammerin,
Yes.
Ms. Prince.
Yes. We have the minutes on our drive for September 16th and August 12th. Yeah, make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
No, roll call.
Roll call,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Costa.
Yeah.
Mr. Lammerin,
Yes.
Ms. Prince.
Yeah. Motion to adjourn,
Second.
roll call,
Mr. Costa.
Yeah.
Mr. Lammerin,
Yes.
Ms. Prince.
yeah. Good night, John.
Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Night.
Well,